Why are some fandoms so kind, and some fandoms the world's best gatekeepers? Why do you sometimes feel ostracized by fandoms you're a part of, but not by ones you're only partially in, or even ones that you just joined? In today's video, we are going to explore why fandoms are so exclusive. Where does this exclusivity come from? Because there's not a set of guidelines that say you're a fan if you do this or you're not if you do that. Why does it feel like that there is? It feels like that because people in these fandoms have traits that make outsiders feel less welcome. And I think that's because, like any group, you're going to exclude people. That's inevitable. Excluding people purposefully is where this becomes a problem and exclusivity comes into play. The reason that they feel excluded is because they are excluded. There's explicit and implicit exclusion at this point in fandoms. Implicit exclusion being fandom jokes that no one will explain. Explicit inclusion is something like using terminology like you just had to be there because they want to feel quote unquote better than you. I think that this results in the hierarchy system. Fandom hierarchies are so confusing and really kind of degrading. Like, we rate people based in an elder system. Didn't we leave that behind? Like, great. You were around since 2006 when Taylor Swift released Tim McGraw. I was too and couldn't form complete sentences. The system is corrupt and results in people making false claims about how big of fans that they are or even were. I saw this Twitter thread today that was saying, what was the song of Sabrina Carpenter's that made you a fan? And I saw over 10,000 people that liked the reply to a screenshot from somebody saying that Take on the World is what introduced them to Sabrina. Now, I liked it too, but I was there. We have this 3-tier hierarchy system of OG fans, early fans, and new fans, and I think it's quite dumb, frankly. And that's how we rank ourselves, especially because of how we treat the people in seemingly different social classes. The logical way to look at this would be, okay, if I have more knowledge in a certain area than someone, I'll help them with their knowledge and explain to them what's going on. And that does happen in some fandoms. But fandom thinking does not do that. They gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. And yes, that hurt to write in the script and to say out loud. When I join a fandom or even just like explore a fandom, like kind of look around, get my bearings, and someone doesn't make me feel bad for asking or being genuinely curious and loving, I think it's so refreshing. One aspect of the exclusivity level seems to be the famousness. You'd think that, for example, the Sabrina Carpenter fandom would be sweet because they came from humble beginnings. But as soon as your celebrity becomes popular, the fandom gets mean. Now, there could be a billion reasons for that. That's not what this video is about. It's about why fandoms are so exclusive, not why fandoms get meaner. I've seen some smaller fandoms also be a little rude, and I don't want to call anybody out, but since I'm a multi-fandom editing account, when I start editing something and I get no engagement from any of your accounts in your fandom, I'm gonna get suspicious, especially because I use After Effects and I feel like my edits are decent enough. Like I said, one reason for their exclusivity could be because of the size, and they want to gatekeep certain aspects so it doesn't get out of hand, because a smaller friend group is always going to be more fun than a big one, and on a fandom level, tickets are going to be cheaper, easier to get, and just overall more accessible. But a huge aspect of this is how kind the artist is. Now, this isn't always the case, and I want to point out the Joshua Bassett fandom here. I could talk for hours and hours and hours, and I may do a video on this in the future. Joshua Bassett is the sweetest human alive. Literally, he is.
I waited 6 years to tell you that you saved my life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like your ears.
Thank you.
And his fans are some of the sweetest humans, but since we were dragged through the media so much, we're just a little more exclusive than a normal fan base. So when we see newcomers, I think we assume they're trolls or trying to get intel from the opposing fandom. And knowing that, I'm more lenient on smaller fandoms for being exclusive, depending on the circumstances. And obviously, I am not well versed in enough fandoms where I would be able to make that comment that I can on the Joshua Bassett fandom. And another thing that I've noticed is if you're a fan of a woman, the fandom is more exclusive. Is that because a strong, independent woman who does have many fans are less standing of the person and more standing of the persona. Now let's talk about fandom joining guidelines. We discussed at the beginning how fandoms have unspoken guidelines to be a fan, and some are just unattainable. Some are past dates that you can't take a time machine and travel back to. I'm looking at you, Swifties. Some are physical time and physical monetary commitments that are absolutely outrageous. Yet fans will say the only thing you have to do to be a fan is love that, but the love also has limits. You can't love the artist so much to take away others' opportunities to see them in concert or meet. You've already met them. You should stay home. But if you don't go to the concert, you're not a good enough fan, and people who are going to 3 concerts are better than you. Having a ton of merch makes you a better fan until you have too much and then you look psychotic and you're buying into the artist's propaganda. So when does this end? How do you win? You don't. You hope that you can just enjoy yourself and be a fan with all this external pressure of the fandom weighing down on you. And the toxic exclusivity of fandoms can be prevented if we just were just a little bit kinder to each other. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and stay tuned for more videos like this. Bye!